Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology and stuff. Other stuff sometimes.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes it's so much stuff.
Sometimes it's a lot of stuff, sometimes not so much.
You know, sometimes we talking about stuff so much that, you know, it's like we should get back to the streaming technology.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about so much stuff I don't even bother to say that I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Well, that's because you are joined by me, but that's not the kind of stuff we're talking about. But I suppose you should say that anyways.
This is episode 231 on April 21st, 2021, and it is still snowing in Minnesota.
What?
I had to get in the weekly weather update.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the VOD Squad. Let's get the weather report from Minnesota.
It's cold,
snowing.
I'm still in winter mode. I'm freezing.
Does your shirt say H2O?
Yes.
It's an excellent shirt, sir. I like your shirt very much.
It's a band, but yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was dual hydrate oxide. You know, that stuff will kill you.
Mm. Oh, you mean, it's, yeah.
Dihydrogen oxide. It'll kill you. Absolutely. You know, you get too much of that in your system, it will suffocate you. It's horrible stuff. Lots of people die from dihydrogen oxide every year. It's amazing. It's horrible, actually. I don't know what to say.
It is. It's true. It's been proven.
It's you know.
Didn't one of the Beach Boys die from that?
You know, I actually don't know, but I only got to say,
he did.
Yeah, you know,
it was a surfing accident.
There's some people out there that think that they should ban it, you know, altogether. Just completely ban it.
Yeah, dihydrogen monoxide is a silent killer.
Actually, it's kind of gurgly. It's not that silent.
Well,
I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. It's fine. It's, you know, it's okay. I don't think it's that big. I'm a big fan, quite frankly. No, I don't know. So how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. You're surviving.
Yeah.
And you're you know, getting yourself through this crazy winter weather. I cannot speak today. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go outside as little as possible.
All I gotta say is, for some reason, we've been having sunshine and beautiful skies and clear skies, and you know, actually above freezing weather at night, which is amazing for finally getting there. And tomorrow starts the cloud and the rain for the foreseeable future. So it's back to normal. We'll see. That'll be fine. It should be good weather, though. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, should we talk about news?
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, Clyde.
Is there anything worth talking about?
I think I have like 15 stories here.
What?
15.
Oh, well, what are we waiting for?
I don't know. I don't know what we're waiting for, but I do know that we're going to be talking about this Micool KT1 4K Android TV device. This is a new device that's coming out from Micool. You know, it's a company we've seen a couple times in the last couple of months. This is the KM6. Oh, no. This is the KT1. We heard about the KM6.
We talked about the KM6 previously.
Mm-hmm. And this is another one that's going to be supporting the AV1 codec that Google's pushing out there. So.
Yep. The main thing that is interesting about this one is the fact that they're building in a tuner.
Oh,
so
really?
So for those of you that want your streaming device and your over-the-air TV all contained in one channel guide. That's exactly what this is. This will do for you. And it supports the DVB-T2 standard tuner,
That's the
which
new one, newer one.
yeah, which is it's been adopted pretty much anywhere that matters. So, yeah, I mean, no matter where you live in the world, there's a good chance that your municipality has adopted that standard. But the thing that's really cool about this one, because my complaint about the Cam 6, if I remember right, was that it still only had like 8 gigs of storage. And if I remember right, this one has 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage.
This one has the 16.
Yes.
If I remember correctly from our previous one, there was an edition of one of the MeCools that did have
there
like
are a couple different versions. And then also, I mean, there's also another version that is actually certified by Netflix, which for 4K, which is actually a big deal because Netflix certification for 4K isn't given lightly, and most devices out there aren't. But that is due to the fact that Google is primarily only working with 4 OEMs at this point.
Wow.
So MeCool, it's made by one of the 4 OEMs that makes all the other boxes. That's how this can have the Google certification.
Gotcha.
And so this box particular doesn't have all of the extra inputs and that the, let's say, KM6 had, but it does have a tuner, and they all have an Ethernet, which is why Clyde is interested in these devices.
And it's not a dongle.
Yep, I'd say go to MeCool's website. They've got a lot of different products at this point, and there's a good chance that they have something for everyone.
Yeah, so I like this. What you're saying is that the MeCool is like the in-house brand for some of the larger guys out there. So,
I'd say it's more of the white label, because I'm guessing this is probably made by the SSI or whatever that company is that makes the TiVo 4K stream and the Sabrina. That's why they're the same device. They show up as, with the same fingerprint.
Right.
And so, yeah.
So, but one thing that really bothers me, well, what's great about this is a set-top box that has a built-in tuner for $80.
Yeah.
Which means if you were going to get a set tuner, I bet you it's not much more expensive to get this, and why not?
And I mean, $80 was the original price of the TiVo 4K stream.
And so, but the thing that boggles my mind now, I know mentally that it's not actually an issue, but it's only got 10100 megabit internet for that Ethernet port. Doesn't do gigabit. What nowadays doesn't do gigabit, man?
My Roku is
really
yeah. I've noticed that my Rokus are the one on my network switch. It's a different color. So I mean, but you figure. You only need gigabit network interface is only really useful for transferring between devices across your network, for the most part, because most people still are going to be in the 100 meg range for internet. And if you're downloading content from Netflix, you're streaming at what, 3 meg or between 3 and 20 megs. So yeah, it's not as big of a deal as most people think.
Okay. Well, here's another story. This is about this what happened this week. Apple made announcements about some of their new hardware, and one of the things they announced was a new Apple TV. It's been a few years for them, so this has kind of been a long time coming. We heard rumors before the fact that it'd be coming with HDMI 2.1 support, which everybody said, "Ooh, that means we're gonna get 120 hertz displays on this thing." And interestingly enough, that's actually not enabled right now. It does have HDMI 2.1 support, but it does not include these 120 megahertz display output mode just yet. Apparently, that is something they are looking to enable in the future. Other things that are updated with it is a new what do you want to call this? It's a radio standard, a networking standard called Thread. It's designed to help your your in your house devices talk to each other. It's an IoT thing apparently. And
Okay.
the other thing is apparently they tried to fix the remote. Now, Collide, I know this has like been the thing we love to talk about on these devices. It's particularly the Apple TV because the Apple
Hmm.
TV is famous for the remotes. Do you remember the first Apple TV remote?
That really thin heart thing that hurt my hand
The
trying to
hard,
use it.
thin piece of metal that
Yeah.
had a little disc on top that you would use, and there was like a total
Yeah.
of 5 buttons on it. Okay, remember that. We'll
Uh
get
huh.
back to that.
Okay.
Now, do you remember the most recent before this one Apple remote?
No.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you a hint. It had a lot of empty space at the top of the remote.
Okay.
That was so you to place your thumb on it and then be able to use it as a kind of a trackpad thing
Oh,
and use
oh,
the
I thought you. I thought that. Oh, that's the. That's the
the
current one that I
it's
thought
the
you were.
current one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The most
No,
recent.
yeah, that's the one I was calling it the tragic. Well, it's similar to the tragic Mac Pad or the
Yeah,
Magic Trackpad.
which they still sell, by the way.
Yeah,
Now in multiple colors. But that's besides the point. No, that there are people who love that
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and there are people who loathe that
Well,
thing.
I think the greater majority was in the loathe category.
Right. Most
Um,
people were not big fans of it. Um, so what did Apple do? They decided to go basically kind of back to that original design. This is another a piece of aluminum thin
yeah.
with that kind of four directional circular pad on it. But that circular pad is also a trackpad that you can track with your thumb as well. It does
Mm,
both, so it gets both functionalities there. It's got some extra buttons on there, including the ability to turn on and off your TV. Hey, it's one less remote in your system, right?
yep.
And guess what? It's got the Siri button on the side. You'll never accidentally hit that picking it up. I don't know about
No. Yeah, I mean, remote is the last thing I want touch on because you're typically fumbling around to find the remote in the
that.
dark, and
Is
then
that what
you
you do?
hit
Oh
the
man.
touchpad, um, and it's almost I would rank it up there as annoying as those direct function buttons that you bump and then all of a sudden the thing you were watching on one
Goes to
goes away because it loads up directly into that other thing that you just pushed the button for. And you're like, no.
So I actually kind of like the fact that they kind of allowed both ways of
Yeah.
using it. I like that it doesn't so it doesn't lose it. The other nice thing I like about this is that this remote is backwards compatible, and you can buy that remote if you have an older generation Apple TV. I think it's the most
Yeah.
recent generation, and use this new remote because maybe you hated that old remote, and this is a much better one for you. This is an easy way for you to upgrade to the new remote, and you don't have to buy a new box because the boxes start at $150, go up to $200 for a stinking set-top box. So remember last week we talked about Roku coming out with their $40 4K box. I mean,
Yep.
geez, guys, I don't know what to say about that. It's cool. I love the fact that they've updated it. I think it's a nice. I'm sure it's going to be great for those Apple guys who love this kind of thing. I'm happy that they have the new remote. That it probably is much better than the one that they had before. Good job, Apple, on iterating again. You did a good job on that. I give you the props.
Uh the last comment on that page, if it were marketed right, it could be the next iteration of the Wii.
Oh, Well, I actually heard people take the old remote and call it the Wii, a Wii like remote. So
Or they
yeah,
did? Were they taking a Wii on the remote?
no,
Okay.
dude, no, that's not what people did. That's not what. All right, we have.
They also, I guess, did an announcement for the new TVOS release.
Yes, they did. There's a new version of TVS. I have no idea what's coming with it. Probably.
It looks like it's bringing support for the latest PlayStation 5 DualSense and Xbox Series or X controllers,
Really?
so that you can play games from tvOS.
That's not a bad idea.
They're giving you an adjust color balance feature to all available Apple TVs with the set-top box and the iPhone advanced sensors.
Oh, that's right. This is the thing where you tell it that you want to color correct your TV,
Yeah.
and it then has you take your iPhone. Yes, it requires an iPhone, and stick it up to your TV, and it uses the sensor on the camera
Yep.
essentially, and detects what the color balance of your
So
TV is currently
basically,
doing, and tries to compensate for it.
automatically
That's kinda
tailors
cool.
its video output to deliver much more accurate colors and improved contrast.
I actually like that as an idea.
Sure.
I think that's cool. And here's one other thing. I love making a little bit of fun of Apple because sometimes they deserve it. But what I really love about Apple is that I see a technology that comes out there and it's really cool, but it's really expensive, or it's not very widely used, or whatever. Then Apple comes in and says, "We're doing it now, and it's amazing." And then everybody goes, "Oh, wow, we can do that too." And everybody catches up, essentially.
Yep.
Thank you, Apple, for pushing the boulder further over the cliff so everybody can do the stupid stuff like this again. Yep. Thank you very much.
And I mean, I think that's really.
I look forward to being able to do it next year on Google too, on Android.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's the only real things of note. But other thing worth noting is that 14.5 will be available starting next week.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, updates are good.
And you can install it on Apple TV HD 4th generation, the 4K 5th generation boxes, and theoretically the new one should come with it pre-installed. So
very cool.
Cool.
All right. Here's an interesting story for you guys. Hulu has made quite the move. They've reached a deal that allows them to carry NFL's Red Zone. NFL's Red Zone, if you don't know, is like the NFL. What is it? Like the super fast versions of the game?
Yeah, this is the one where they only show
from the hike to the down, right?
Basically, when the team is in the red zone, so they're within the scoring range of the end zone. So that's what they call the red zone.
Yeah.
So then what they'll do is whatever game, when a team is in the red zone, then it switches over to that game. So then you're only seeing the parts that
are really good
that people actually want to see. So. I don't know how they handle it if two different games have somebody in the red zone at the same time, but because I don't typically watch it, but sure.
I'm guessing they focus on one, and if something exciting happens, another one, they quickly replay it, because that's what it's like golf. They're like, "Ooh, something happened on the hole 7. Ooh, go see what happened. This just happened moments ago." No, this is good. A lot of people love watching this and for their football, and looks like this is going to be an easier way to get it. I don't know. Are you going to have to pay to get access to it? I'm guessing you will, because I'm sure it's a paid for service on the NFL Network. So. It's both getting access to the Red Zone and the NFL Network. So this is going to be available as a premium channel option starting August 1st.
Yep.
Cool. That's awesome. All right. YouTube TV, that awesome thing that works on all your set-top boxes. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're not using a set-top box, that's fine, because you can use a PC as well. If you're watching YouTube TV on the web, you now have the option to change the playback speed of your television show. That's right. If you have if you're watching one of the shows that are either recorded by you or one of the ones that are available on their services, you now have the option, just like on regular YouTube, to change the playback speed of your show. Want to watch your show at 2 times speed? You can do that.
Or if after for the last 20 years, you've been wondering what the Gilmore Girls were actually saying, you can slow it down and find out.
Oh man, actually, I want to do that for my wife now. He's just like, hey,
No.
this.
What you got to do is you got to bring up the Gilmore Girls and then speed it up.
Yeah, speed it up.
Sounds the same to me.
That's good. Okay. Now this is cool. I like having these kind of options. I have been through things where, especially on YouTube itself, where it's like, oh my goodness, I need to watch this video, but it's so long and I just need to get to the point that I need to. So having the ability to speed it up is extremely useful. I've only slowed things down for entertainment values. I don't really have a reason for that, but speed it up. That's what I say.
I think slowing it down is good for, hey, honey, come help me with this thing. Okay, I'll be right there when this is done. Slow it down as slow as you can. Other than that, I don't see any use. But that's me. I don't typically alter the speed of my podcasts or any of that stuff. I like to ingest or experience things as intended. The guy that made Tenet would be proud. But no, cool. Yeah, and I think as we mentioned, this is only on the web.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll bring it to other platforms too, but web first for this one.
Sure.
All right. Philo has added some channels to their lineup. Philo has now added access to Crackle, Bloomberg TV, and Reverie, which I don't know. What is Reverie?
Reverie is like an LGBTQ RPW whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's the all-encompassing demographic channel of some sort.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So now that they've added these additional channels, you get your Bloomberg TV, so you can get your business news up to the minute, and you can get your Crackle, so you can watch all your old Sony shows, which is all that stuff's good. So that's fine with me. It does not look like there's any increase in price for this, so this looks like it's just going to be added to the service with no additional fees. So that's good.
So the Bloomberg and Reverie I get, but Crackle,
yeah. Most of that's on-demand stuff.
Well, yeah, because I don't understand how that works, because Philo is an over-the-top service. So are they, like, streaming Crackle shows? Because theoretically, you would already have, if you wanted the Crackle contact, you would already have it on your device. Or is it... Yeah, I don't get it. Unless they're adding an on-demand section to their... Yeah, I guess. I guess. Never mind. I just answered my question.
Well, there is an on-demand section to Philo. Yeah. I know that you can go and find the show and play an on-demand version. So they just stick Crackle right in the same thing.
Yeah,
so you can watch old episodes as Jeopardy right there.
And
you know what I mean?
I thought about YouTube TV and then it fell in place and I was like, oh yeah, because everything I watch on YouTube TV is on demand. I refuse to go into the live tab.
I'll go to the live tab and I'll filter through it and I go, nope, nothing there, and then go find something else. Yeah. Totally.
So
okay. So I always mispronounce the name of this company, but Bang & Olufsen,
B&O, like the railroad.
B&O, but okay, has introduced, to my opinion, something that makes so much sense. They have introduced a new design for one of their speakers. It is one that is able to play with AirPlay 2 support. It has Google Chromecast built in. It has the ability to talk to it through the Google Assistant, and it looks like a book on your bookshelf. That's right. This is a really good looking speaker that, in some places where I've had people are like, I want to be able to put that up there on that shelf and that one over there on that shelf kind of thing. And the idea of making it go somewhere and look like a book makes it disappear. And that's cool. It's also it's very thin. And it's actually designed to fit in a bookshelf between books and still play the audio out of it, which is a cool idea too.
Yeah, this product is very B&O. If you're familiar with Bang& Olufsen products, this is pretty much what you're imagining.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you're looking at $900.
So I just did a quick search and looked for the dollar sign, and
Yep.
yeah, that's the cheap one, 700.
Yes.
You know,
But
it's
this is cheaper than the one that they announced in February that looks kind of like a VCR, which was $1,600. Um, yeah,
never mind. Give me my Google Home.
B&O, their products are aimed at a specific demographic
Mm.
where
Where
it's
Apple stuff isn't expensive enough.
form over function. Because
That's fair.
I know people that have had B&O stuff that has been absolutely gorgeous. It hasn't really sounded the best, but it didn't matter because it was $3,000 and it looks amazing.
Right. There's a
If it
certain
doesn't sound good, you just don't turn it on.
there's, there's a certain demographic where looks are that important. Yeah. That's okay. Hey, if looks are that important, then you shouldn't be playing your games in the cloud because it has to be streamed to you, and there's going to be artifacts. But if looks aren't that important, and maybe you wanted to play one of these cloud gaming platforms like Xbox, you've probably been wondering, when can I play this on a PC? Or maybe even on an iPhone of some kind. Good news, you can now do it. Xbox Cloud Gaming, the beta has expanded from just Android devices and now supports gaming on a PC and on iOS devices using the browser. So you are able to play right through the browser to play these games.
So Microsoft. So the headline: Microsoft brings gaming to iOS.
Yes, and brings it to Windows too. Quite frankly.
Well, I mean, they already had the Xbox gaming app, but it was different. The Xbox Cloud Gaming, that's where I was playing. It's badly named. That was where I was playing the new flight simulator. It was Xbox thingy on Windows, but
here's the thing. It's only available to select Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, which that sucks. It's gonna start on April 20th, which is what, yesterday?
Yeah.
So they need to open this up to more people so I can try it out, because the reason why this is actually interesting is because the library of games that are available on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is actually amazing. It is a huge series of games, and most of them I haven't played because I've never been a big Xbox player. I would mind having to pay a little bit in order to have the ability to dive into that pool and maybe find some real gems for me to play, and for a very small fee, and not have to go out and buy an expensive device to do it. So I don't know. This is cool. I can't wait until I am able to spend $20 a month to try it out and play some of those old games that are supposed to be the best games ever for Xbox.
Speaking of spending $20 a month, up until recent, people have been complaining that in order to play free games on your Xbox, you had to pay that $20 a month.
Yeah, they've decided that maybe that doesn't make sense.
It's about freaking time. Yes, Wabbit, we're jumping ahead. Now, this has been something that has always made me angry about Xbox, especially when online game or connectivity is built into the game. You can only use it if you pay them.
Right.
It's like, no.
So there is a cost to doing that. There is a cost.
I agree, but at the time they were doing that, the individual game companies were hosting their own
Right.
servers. It's not like it was all happening on Microsoft. Microsoft was just acting as a gatekeeper and
Right.
locking down your Ethernet port. But yeah, so they're finally saying, so yeah, if you want to play Rocket League or Fortnite on your Xbox console, you can now do that free.
Technically, I think that was one of the companies that was bucking the trend
Mhm.
on many consoles and just allowing you to play even if you haven't paid the whatever fee.
Mhm.
For example, I do pay for an online gaming service on my console, which is uh, the Switch. There is a $20 a year fee for my entire family to be backed up to the cloud and play online games. But some games still work online even if you don't pay for it. And the Epic Games is one of those who are basically bucking that trend with Fortnite. So, but that's okay. $20 a year, I think, is reasonable for a family pack of 5 users.
Yeah.
Or I think it's like $15
And
normally a
I
year.
typically don't want to play against other people. So
Fair.
yeah.
You know what, for the Switch, the important reason you will really want to do that though is because forever there was no way to recover any of your game saves if you somehow lost anything on your Switch, if anything
Sure.
got damaged. But when you pay for that, it does back up to your account.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so if your Switch were to catch on fire, you could get another Switch
Or
and
if you
get it.
switch your Switch
Yeah,
to a
or
different Switch.
with a Switchblade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. If you switch your Switch with a Switchblade, you will have a backup of your save games
Okay.
in the cloud, which is actually a good thing, especially for those people who are less careful with their devices. So that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, and then we've also got Sony making a reversal on a decision.
So I don't remember if you were here or not, Clyde.
Yeah,
but we
I
saw
was the
this.
one that I was. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but we had the story like a
Mhm.
week or two ago,
Yep.
which was like, hey, Sony, they've decided they're going to take the PS3 and Vita games and they're going to close the stores down because
This summer.
nobody's using app, and they're going to make sure, that if you ever download the game, you'll be able to re-download, but you're not going to be able to buy it. Well, apparently they've decided that the quote here is, "It's clear that we made the wrong decision here." I'm going to infer that they had quite the backlash to that announcement, and have since then seen the light and decided that maybe it's a good idea to keep that server running in the basement somewhere.
So if you remember, my comment at that time was the real story was that the PS3 and Vita stores were still open.
Right.
I am now convinced that this was a PR stunt to remind people that the PS3 and Vita game stores still exist. Because there were probably a lot of people that went, "Oh crap!"
You think sales went way up suddenly? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that people rushed over there and were like, "Oh yeah, I've got a thing, and I want to use it." So I think it's a good move. I mean, what does it really cost? I mean, they've got an AWS server someplace that's probably like 10 gigs of storage space, and
if this is a some kind of virtual machine, you just put this on, put it in as one of the many machines in your cluster.
You think it's on Azure?
Or no, I bet you anything Sony does their own thing, and they have their own stacks of switches in places.
I would love to believe that Sony uses Azure for their PlayStation stores.
I bet you
just like Microsoft.
I would not be surprised if they did, quite frankly. Because I bet you they bid that stuff out, and it's just a virtual machine, and they put the priority down on it, so it's okay. It doesn't need to be using that much bandwidth or that much resources. It'll be fine. But no, this is good. This is what they need to do. Everybody who has made an online service needs to either continue supporting that service or release it so people can run their own servers of some kind. It's their responsibility to make whatever the product they made available to the world continue to be usable one way or another. That's my opinion.
I
Now,
agree.
really, do they have to do that? No, actually, they don't. They have every right to take whatever they want down of their own. So that's besides the point. Hey, what do you think of when I say the words HTC? Actually, letters.
They used to make cell phones.
Right. I think they no longer do. No, I could be wrong. I think they
I
still
haven't seen
do.
an HTC phone in forever.
Neither have I.
They
But I
got
think
all like sidetracked by VR and
oh
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't even know what they're doing anymore.
Well, here's the thing. HTC is about getting ready to release a new Vive. Their headset, if you remember, the
Mm-hmm.
VR headset. This one's called Vive Air, and it is designed it it's designed to be extremely comfortable and lightweight, and it's got the ability to give you a good motion controls for your ability to move around while it's on. It's got it optimized for high intensity and long use, and it's got the built-in sensors, so you don't have to have as much stuff in the room for it
Mm-hmm.
to track your head movement and all that. And it's designed for you to do exercise. That's right, because that's what you want to do in VR
Well,
is
I mean,
exercise,
honestly,
right?
that is like 90% of what people use or what VR has been popular for.
I suppose.
Your rhythm games like Beat Saber and
Okay.
which are considered, exercise. Uh, so I know looking at reading this story, it said that they were releasing a fitness focused VR headset called the Vive. And it's fitness focused because it's comfortable, it's lightweight, it's easy to clean. And I say that's what every headset should be. Why is
I
this
agree.
fitness focused? This should just be the benchmark for all headsets going forward. There is no
Uh,
reason that I want my headset to be heavier and harder to clean.
Correct. And you are correct. That's what they all should be
Give me
moving
extra
forward.
cables.
But unfortunately, it looks like HTC confirmed that this is only a concept. The design is not finalized, so we
Yeah,
might not.
but I think it's the right direction.
Yeah.
Because that's been one of the biggest complaints, especially for places that that center around VR experiences so that you can pay money and then you go there, you use their equipment. When you're done, they have to clean it.
Hmm.
You have to wear these stupid paper gaskets. They're like the paper ass gaskets that they used to have in the public restrooms back in the day. I don't even know if those things still exist.
Yeah, they'd probably do.
But it would basically stuff like that, and it's always been a hassle. And then even if they clean it, you get someone else's sweaty headset, and it's been you want something that you can just take down. This essentially looks like a Nike shoe. They specified in the story that they took cues from knitted running shoes, which has been a big trend over the last decade. So yeah, I I will. I would like to defer to the last comment on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Headset leaks on design award site. Well, that seems convenient. Yeah, this was a press release.
Okay.
It was leaked, air quotes.
Yeah, that happens more than you think. So, all right, here's an interesting story. Apple also, as many of their agreement announcements that they had this week was that they had decided to launch a new version of their podcast app. That's right. It's got new cool features like the ability to check out podcast channels, which, tries to group similar types of shows together for you to listen to sequentially, kind of thing, kind of like you're watching a TV channel. It's also got the ability to have a smart play button. Now, you might actually like this, Clyde. It is able to tell whether or not, if it's like a serialized show that you can, if you hit smart play, it'll start the beginning or wherever where your next episode was at. So it's smart about where that, or if it's a news show, to always give you the most recent episode. That's cool. I think that's a cool idea. And if it works well, then it works. And then there's one other thing, podcast subscriptions. Crap. Yes, Apple has introduced the ability for you to pay $20 a month in order to have an access to a subscription version of the podcast app, which will remove ads, show you additional content, give you pre-show, post-show things, give you access to behind-the-scenes stuff. I don't know if
But
I like
how
that.
will I know that a guy who's only famous because he had sex with Kim Kardashian wants to sell me headphones?
I don't know, Clyde. I don't know. What bothers me the most about this is that, let's say I wanted that. Let's say I wanted all that. Is this going to be available on any other device other than an iPhone?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think the Apple Podcast app is available on other stuff.
I'm going to totally check you on that, sir. Right now, I am bringing up the App Store and I am looking up for
there
Apple.
was a very deliberate question mark at the end of that question or that comment.
And there is no Apple Podcast app. There is Apple Music, but no Apple Podcast app.
Okay.
So then maybe they come out with it, and I will feel less. I will still feel like I don't want to pay $20 for a stinking app.
Yeah, I'm not paying $20, dude. I'm constantly yelling at Spotify now because they keep pushing the podcast up further and further. I use Spotify for music, and I have to dig to get to music now, and I am irate. Get those podcasts out of my way. I will use my podcast app that I have chosen if I want to listen to a podcast. Yeah, I'm not interested. If I wanted to subscribe, I'll support the content creator directly via Patreon, as I currently do. I don't need Apple to be the gatekeeper.
Fair enough. All right, Clyde. Everything is going to be streamed.
What?
Everything is going to be streamed. There's not a thing that you can do on a computer that you can't stream it now. I mean, here we are. We're doing a podcast right now. What did you think about doing that streaming? Streaming while you're streaming. Do you think it could be a good idea? I think it might be a good idea.
If you're saying my PC was going to be in the cloud, then I think that would cause some technical issues.
Maybe not. Microsoft is working on this. What they're doing is they're making it so that you will be able to have a cloud PC. That's right. It's kind of like Shadow, where you would be able to rent a PC in the cloud. But this is using Azure in order for you to have access to a virtual Windows 10 desktop that's yours in the cloud. And you should be able to do all kinds of fun things streaming to yourself in the cloud. And it will be available on multiple platforms.
From just about any device. Have an internet connection.
Correct. But if you don't have an internet connection, what is a computer good for?
Everything.
No.
Yeah. No, I am not interested in this.
Considering the idea of doing a cloud machine for myself, just to try one out, like with Shadow, I've been thinking about doing them for a while. I always have a long time to consider about before I commit to anything like that.
I mean, there are use case scenarios, but none of them are anything that I want. I mean, I'm trying to imagine recording audio
Right.
directly to a cloud PC. There's already enough latency between my audio interface and my computer over the USB. No. Yeah, this is no.
I'm totally going to try it. See, I suspect because I'm a school district employee and we pay for the Microsoft school and enterprise licensing, I'm going to have access to some of these features as a school employee somehow. Maybe a couple, like 10 hours a month or something will become with my subscription probably in the next year or two of this kind of thing, because that's the kind of thing they will like to bundle into these, because they want to get you off of whatever device you are and onto a Windows PC, because obviously Windows is the best. So I will very likely have the chance to try this, and I want to see how bad it is, because for science.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this is a good idea for certain use cases, but I can't think of a single one that would fit me.
Yeah,
I can think about 20 things, reasons why I couldn't use it or I wouldn't want to use it. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's a cool idea if it works. And eventually, we talked about gaming being streaming now, and it's almost kind of okay and that kind of stuff. And we're talking about, for the longest time, people didn't want to stream their movies, and now that's the only way they watch their movies. So everything is going streaming. I mean, everything. Except for Discord. They're not going to go stream to Microsoft. I'll tell you that. Discord has been in talks with Microsoft for a few weeks now. And apparently they've even got an offer from Microsoft for a ridiculous amount of money. Apparently they offered them $10 billion. Now, do I need to say that with like a pinky hanging off the corner of my mouth? $10 billion or something like that? Is it $100 billion?
I got to say, that is a big number.
Yeah.
And I am proud of the guys for saying no.
I am proud of them too. Because quite frankly, I think they're worth more than that.
Well, I was going to say, because if Microsoft buys Discord will go the way of Mixer. Because you remember whatever Mixer was originally, Microsoft bought it. And then, like, within a year, they shut it down because everybody left. I don't know if, I can't imagine Discord in a Microsoft world. So, yeah.
So Microsoft has kind of a Google problem where they already have too many products and they have to consolidate. So like Skype is kind of being left behind for Teams. So Teams is trying to take its place, kind of thing.
And Discord would become part of Teams, would get folded into Teams.
Probably, because Discord is kind of Slack, and they try to buy Slack, and so Microsoft is just shooting, and trying to get any one of these programs to be their own, and everybody's telling them no. So eventually they'll just make their own and push their way into second place somehow. So it's what it is. It's fine.
Yeah, I use Teams on a daily basis, and
I'm sorry,
hate it. Absolutely hate it.
So do you use? Is it that you do not like the video conferencing part of Teams?
No, I just don't like Teams as a whole.
Okay, so there's other stuff.
I hate the fact that now that I have to use it as my soul, I love the fact that if I'm actively using my computer, but I am not actively in Teams, Teams says, "Oh yeah, he's away."
What?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. And a lot of other people, I have to be like, people are like, hey, like I'll get a call on my cell phone. Hey, your computer says you're away, so I got to ask you a question. I'm here. And then I pop in and be like, they're like, oh. Yeah, it's something. If you have Teams minimized and you're not actively engaging with it, it's like, oh, yeah, he's away.
It's probably the minimize. They probably
But
detected that
that's
you
the thing is
minimized it.
I'm not going to
I
have
know.
the window up all the time. I've only got one
Why?
monitor when I'm working here at home.
Why are you not in teams all day long? That's your job,
I
right? To be in
no,
teams,
and
man.
that's my point. And it's just so many other things that just I
You're
hate
so not
Teams.
part of the team.
I absolutely hate Teams. Um, I was loving Jabber, but Abbott doesn't use Jabber, so Jabber went away.
Jabber's still around. You can still use that.
No, not in my company. That's why I
Oh,
said the new company doesn't use Jabber, so Jabber went away because only certain people had access to it.
that's okay. I use Google and Google Chat. Google Chat is the world's poorest Slack competitor version out there. I don't know. So yeah, that's a better one. You should totally put that in. That yeah, it's so poorly documented and poorly advertised, and nobody really knows or understands it. That yeah, it's going to be stuck around for years until finally somebody kind of starts using it well, and it becomes a good product. And then Google will get rid of it. So
Okay. Oh, here's another scenario for you. I get a message from someone. It pops up the alert down in the bottom corner. I click on that alert. Where do you think that takes me when I click on that alert?
it should take you to the Teams chat.
Yeah, it takes you into a completely different conversation. It takes you to the last conversation you were in. So you click on it and you start typing, and then that person goes, "What?"
What are you talking about?
And you go,
no, I am not
"Oh,
going to be there next Thursday, and no, I will
clicked
not
on
bring
the
sour cream.
This person sent me a thing. I clicked on it to respond. Take me to the freaking right conversation." How hard is that?
Also, my other
It's
big
not
issue
like
with
messaging apps haven't been doing this for 20 freaking years.
my other big problem with Teams is I understand that Teams is an Electron app. Now, I believe also Discord is an Electron app. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but it's Microsoft.
Mm,
And you think Microsoft would know how to make an app that isn't based off Chrome,
mm,
that's not Edge,
mm,
right?
yeah.
But they can't, apparently. I don't. Microsoft, I think you hire programmers. I think. Why
Yeah.
are you using this? I mean, Electron is a cool platform because it can do so many cool things, but also Electron is a gigantic platform that is not designed to be nimble. And this isn't that hard. You used to do web conference, the program web conference or whatever it was called back in the 90s. It worked fine.
Oh,
Yeah, I used older protocols, but it worked just great, guys.
how about
Seriously.
the fact that number
Why would it make it
one,
more
I don't
complicated?
have a contact list. I have to go up to the search menu and search for the person's name.
Hmm.
And then when their picture and the thing comes up, it doesn't show me their status. I have to open it to start a conversation with them before I can see what their status is.
Hmm.
So if I just want to check and see, hey, did so and so get back from whatever, or is he still in a meeting?
Right.
I have to basically start a conversation. I don't have to actually type anything and hit enter, but I have to open that new conversation, which then gets thrown into a list of all these other conversations that you can't delete. You can't remove them. Oh, and if you leave a group conversation, you can't rejoin it.
What? Can you
Someone
be
has
reinvited?
to re-invite you.
Okay.
It's like, but it doesn't go away either. It's forever there on the side as this conversation. You click on it, it says
You've scorned this
can't
meeting.
you can't participate in this.
You left.
Teams.
You're not allowed back in.
I absolutely hate Teams.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That's all I got.
More than I hate Skype, but
That's okay. We're talking about Discord, and Discord's cool.
yes, I love Discord.
Discord, stay independent.
Stay golden.
Stay golden. Hey, Netflix, those guys are making all that money. You know what the big news is this week? They didn't make as quite as many new subscribers as they did last year when all the people had to find something to do during the pandemic. Yes, that's right. Their growth didn't skyrocket like it did last year. It's only like normal growth, and that's big news for some reason. Geez, guys, they got 208 million customers. It's not like they're doing fine. Netflix is fine. Trust me. It's less than that was last year.
Well, they're
but don't
back
worry,
down
it's
to.
just
Well, the
fine.
thing is, they're back down to 2017 numbers.
Yeah, 2017 growth. It's still growth, guys.
I know.
It's still going up.
Yes,
It's fine. Yeah,
but the growth doesn't look like a butt anymore.
yeah, I love this graph. The graph does a great. The 2020 number on that graph does show the gigantic. Whoa, something happened there. You know, I love that. Love being able to identify where a graph does a thing, and so that's great. I do like that very much. So yes, they are still making money. They are still making new subscribers. They are not doing it as
They're
fast as they
making
have in
new
the past.
subscribers.
Yes,
Like
making them.
They're physically like constructing them.
Okay, this is another one. We'll put that on the shelf. Another subscriber.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if they're building bots that their whole job is just to subscribe.
No, that's what that guy did from your that you showed in the Discord.
Well, you didn't make a bot. Well,
okay,
yeah,
kind of. That's all right. Hey, so did you know that Quibi, all those original shows, they're not going to be called Quibi shows anymore. They're going to lose the Quibi name. Is this another death for Quibi? I don't know. I don't understand. Roku does own those originals, and so they are. Well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point of Quibi, was the fact that the content could be used elsewhere and used for other means, outside of Quibi after whatever has been met.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, Roku bought them. We talked about that a while back.
Yep.
They didn't know what they were going to do with them.
They have over 75 TV shows and movies that they have the rights to that came from Quibi, and they've announced that they're just going to call them Roku Originals. So
Okay.
I like that, and I wonder,
I mean,
are there
that's
going to be
what Netflix
more
did forever with stuff they acquired. Like Lilyhammer was a Netflix original, even though it was a Norwegian TV show. Sherlock was there was a lot of BBC stuff that was a Netflix original, but it wasn't, originally. But sure. Good for them.
So, yeah, that's fine. That's all.
And I will say Roku Original is a much better name than Quibi Original. They basically hosing off that Quibi stank.
All right, and last but not least, we have an announcement that Magic Leap 2, that's the new VR AR headset that Magic Leap is coming out with, is going to be coming out later this year. And it's going to be available it's going to be business focused which will allow you to use this in all of your AR needs in all your businesses. Because don't you know that's what you need?
So this is the Magic Leap 2?
Yes.
Aren't we still waiting for the Magic Leap 1?
I believe it actually came out, but not to retail, essentially. It came out to specific customers who requested it, kind of thing.
I remember my buddy was in the initial Kickstarter back in 2013, and he got his thing and it was just like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, what did I pay for? They're like, oh, well, it's not the actual release, blah, blah, blah. And, that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
They made a good commercial, and it made them a lot of money. So
they made the commercial for the thing that it couldn't even do.
I know that giant whale leaped out of the and slammed into the fake floor of the ocean. That was great. That's all I gotta say. It was beautiful.
Okay, well, CEO Peggy Johnson, I don't know how much I would actually trust anything you say. after the
Also,
track, the track history or the track record, sorry, of this company. Yeah, I don't know.
also that picture that they have there sure does look like a fake product. I mean, that almost looks photoshopped.
Well, everything they've ever released has been a fake product.
I know. And so I just got to say that if the Vive device, the little lightweight one, was just a concept and they was supposed to be super lightweight and easy to use and all that, this looks even lighter weight and even simpler to put on and all that. And if Vive couldn't do it, if the HTC can't do it, I don't know. This doesn't look like it could be fake. I don't know.
So
We'll see what happens.
I'm willing to bet that Sonic's human teeth were more realistic than this product.
Wow.
And you remember how the internet liked Sonic's teeth.
That was a huge reaction, and
Yeah.
you think that okay. All right, well, I don't know what you're going to bet, but
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll bet all of the amazing people that support this show via Patreon.
you're going to bet them all as collateral?
I'm gonna bet them all everything that they gave us as collateral, or maybe it's all. I'm willing to wager their trust.
Wow, dude.
But
what are we going to do when they come out with an amazing Magic Leap 2? We're going to be in big trouble, man.
I'm pretty sure we're safe.
Okay. I don't know. I don't like messing with people's trust like that.
Okay,
But okay.
I won't. I will. How about I just thank them instead?
Oh yeah, we should thank them. I think that would be good.
So to all of you that have been supporting us all of this time via Patreon, you rock. We will not do anything intentionally to lose your trust. Unintentionally, I can't make it. I can't make any promises. But intentionally, no. Thank you. And if you are someone that is listening to this and you're thinking, hey, these guys are weird, they need more money. Or you just want to be involved and you like being thanked. Yeah,
yep.
I don't care what your motivation is.
Or you feel pity, it's fine.
I don't even care how much you give us. You head on over to patreon.com/thebod squad, and that's completely up to you. No matter how it shakes out, you'll get a thank you from us.
It's true.
Okay, so rants, raves. Okay. Rants, raves. What you got?
I've been spending much of my time trying to the mental anguish of the normal work week and the normal work day for me has caused me to come home and just not want to do anything. So what I usually end up doing is sitting down in front of my computer and watching some YouTube videos. Recently, I've come across a YouTube videos, a series of YouTube videos that I found very entertaining. I'm the kind of guy who likes to see kind of like science. I'm a guy who likes the Mythbusters when they came out there and to do these kind of things. And so I found a guy called Project Farm. And what he does is he loves to take products and essentially torture them and see which ones actually are decent at what they do. Most of them like workshop tools and things like that, but the other things too. And I found myself totally just kind of engrossed in his channel for a while and enjoying it. So I'm calling out the guy from Project Farm who makes really excellent videos and makes very good somewhat, I mean, as scientific as I could ever do it, testing of various tools and equipment to see how well they work. I really have enjoyed that channel, and I appreciate the inexpensive free entertainment very much.
I have run across his channel a lot over the years as I'm looking for specific things. And it's like, yeah.
And
Um,
he really torture tests the thing,
mhm,
whatever he's doing. So like he like, oh hey, so tape measures. Let's find out which tape measures are good. And so he invents ways to go, well, it's supposed to have this much reach. So he invents a tool to actually figure out how long things are reached with no bias. In other words, it's designed to not have him angling it. He's got a jig set up so it gives the correct pressure on it, all the things. So it's removing as much human error out of it
mhm,
in order to see how well it works. And it's impressive. I mean, everything he does is like, oh, and how much he puts a 5 pound weight on it and then drags it across. He doesn't do his weight on it. He's doing,
mhm,
something very well thought out of trying to remove human error and actually just try to see what works. And he almost always has nice comparisons of all the different things, and like going, if you're looking for something inexpensive, this one did really good. If you were looking for the best, this one, I like this one. And he always keeps his
mhm.
opinions to pretty much at the end of the show too. Otherwise, just kind of stays to the raw data. I kind of like
Yep.
I really appreciate that from that guy. I like that
Yep.
a lot.
So let me ask, have you become a patron?
Have I become a patron? No, I have not.
Mm.
Okay, so you're trying to guilt me into it. Okay,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not his patron either. But
But no, you're make a valid point because he's his
but
patrons make the show
but
go.
if there's something that you would like him to test, that is how you. That's how you get his attention. Because most of the stuff he tests, it comes in through Patreon.
That's
Uh,
true.
so
Okay.
yeah. I amazingly 16 seasons in, American Dad is still funny. I for the fourth time I thought the show was over, and then yesterday I opened up YouTube TV and there was a new episode of American Dad, season 16, episode 1. And so I watched it and I giggled, and my Google Home just beeped in the other room, which is weird.
Because you giggled and it thought you said you googled.
Yeah, but it's in a completely different room.
Checking to make sure mine didn't.
Yeah. So who knew? Still great. They're still managing to come up with stuff, which
So I think I saw the very first episode of this and decided to myself, okay, this isn't for me, but it's pretty funny. It's got the alien guy in it,
yeah,
right?
it's one of those shows. It's like most good shows. There was some changes along the way, and then they found their voice. Once they found their thing, it you kind of roll with it. And yeah, I will add, also season 4 of Infinity Train came out. I watched it. Sad to say, I did not enjoy this season.
Oh.
I mean, they're short, like 15-minute episodes, so it's easy to watch all 10
Gotcha.
in like one sitting. The last 3 seasons were pretty enjoyable. The two main characters were kind of hard to like, and didn't really feel like there was anything to it. And that kind of bummed me out because Infinity Train has been a rather enjoyable experience up to this point. I'm curious to see where Brian Brushwood lands, because he's been a huge advocate of the Infinity Train over the last couple of years. So, yeah,
We'll see. Oh, the Brushwood. He sometimes goes and he takes things in very interesting directions as far as his thoughts go. He's a very hard person to pin down on how he thinks of things. That's how I see it. But, I bet you other people are like, nah, he's completely predictable. He hates everything. That's your job, Clyde, right?
well, I mean,
I don't know.
it's a archetype.
Okay.
of which I think he and I share some.
Does that mean I'm in the archetype that I like everything?
Possibly.
I think I am in that. Actually, I watch a show and it's like, oh, that's not bad. I like it. And then somebody goes, it's crap for this reason and that. It's horrible. Oh, I'm like, oh, I thought it was okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
While I will be violently opposed to continuing to watch certain things, I will never tell anybody else that they shouldn't.
That's fair.
Nope.
That's fine. No, that's fine. That's a good way of looking things.
Mm-hmm.
Things. It's like I didn't like it, but that doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah, there's people that get mad at me, but how dare you not like it? It's like, well, I'm not telling you you can't watch it or it should be canceled. I'm just saying I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah,
and on that note, we should probably shut this down because I don't want anything to do with any more of this show. We're already gone. Well, actually, we started way late and we're ending right about where we normally do. So I think we're perfectly on time. So we should get out of here. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us this week. If you're catching this after the fact, we're here live. I know we tell you every week, but it's true. We're here live every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, Twitch TV. If you're here, stick around for the post show. We'll choose some titles over at tvs.showbot.tv and go vote for everything that tickles your fancy. And if you're watching live but you would rather not be, there is a podcast.
Oh, good. Because, I wouldn't mind not being here. Oh, wait a second.
Me too.
I listen to the podcast too, It's great.
I know. I do too. But the thing is, I listen to the podcast immediately following this show.
Okay. No, I don't. I listen after the fact because I don't know why.
Twice is already enough for me. I can't bring myself to listen to it a third time in my car. But yeah, if you are interested in the podcast, that is available everywhere that podcasts are available, except maybe that iOS
Stitcher.
Well, is it not on Stitcher?
Actually, I don't know.
Should be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on Stitcher.
Okay.
I was going to say there's that new subscription Apple thingy that we talked about earlier. We're probably not going to be available on that because then they would have to give us money, and Apple doesn't want to give me money. So,
no, I suspect we'd have to go into it and apply ourselves to it.
We are in the Apple podcast app.
Yeah. You could find it, but we're not under the subscription service.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. On that note, I'm going to shut this down before I say anything that Tim Cook might actually be able to come after me for. So,
I'll tell you something about that after the show.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.